Welcome along everyone to a fabulous Thursday loose Patreon exclusive get together to paint along on what is today St. Patrick's Day. So happy St. Patrick's Day everyone, wherever you may be, and I hope you're celebrating with something fairly Irish in mind. How does that sound? So happy St. Patrick's Day and fun to you all. So welcome along guys, do appreciate you dropping by this evening a little bit later. So it's been a bit hectic over the last few weeks, I must admit, so I do apologise about the schedule. Quite a lot going on, most of it's all sorted now, but turbulent times, let's say that, but now they're getting smoother, which is better. So good. So we'll try and get back all on schedule, and we'll be doing more and more broadcasts as I get to grips with some new technology. It's time I moved on from a cardboard box with a bit of string on the back and I whistle down it and hope somebody hears it. So that's an advance for me. Anyway guys, enough of my inane waffle. Welcome along, and let's welcome our fabulous guest this evening. Let's see who's first with us, and the first fabulous Lucy is Scarlett. Welcome along, Scarlett. Great of you to drop by, and thanks for waiting, and happy St. Patrick's celebration to you as well, Scarlett. And I see you've decked out the studio in suitable St. Patrick's Day fashion with lots of green shamrock and shillelaghs and Irish tunes, and I see you've got a little Irish band in the corner, as they tend to be over there when I go over. They're always in the pubs in the corner and all playing like absolute total stars, and that's just a normal night out. It really is very vibrant and amazing to see. So thanks for organising those, Scarlett, and I hope you enjoy this evening and paint along, and again, happy St. Patrick's Day to you. Hi there, Barbara, welcome along, waiting for a beautiful day in, or painting on a beautiful day in Atlanta, welcome. And the sun is blazing down, I'm sure. It's been actually quite warm here today, which has been quite a change from the last few months. And tomorrow is going to be a full sunny day and 15 British degrees. My word, that's a few degrees. We've never had that for ages. Anyway, it's going to be a good one. And guess who's with us, Guy, on St. Patrick's Day from Lancaster, Pennsylvania? No, I can't believe it. Yes, it is. It is Janet Kyle. Welcome along. And Snoopy, I hope. Little Snoopy is celebrating St. P's Day as well. So good to see you there, Janet. Thanks for dropping by. It's a little bit warm, but we shall get things moving with this painting. How's that sound? Bit of a deal? Deal. Yay. Great stuff. Hi there, welcome along, Celine, good to see you there. Hope you're keeping well in Montreal, and I hope you're going to be painting along this evening. Some fabulous stuff from Celine, so do drop by and take a little look at her work. Fabulous work. And Ashley, hi there, Ashley, welcome along. Good to see you. And let's see what we're going to produce this evening. Still a bit of a surprise, but just to give you a little heads up, if you do go to the description below, you can pop over to the Patreon page, and on there at the bottom you'll be able to see the pencil or the line work, so you can maybe have a little look at that while I'm gabbling on and welcoming our fabulous people. Hi there, Beverly, welcome along from a sunny Atlanta, and you could be on the same table as Barbara there. Beverly, how's that sound? Sharing paint, sharing a little bit of champagne, how's that sound? Perfect. Hi there, Anna, welcome along. Springtime in Germany. That sounds like a song to me. 15 degrees, that is perfect, and that's what we're promised tomorrow, Anna, so we'll see what we'll compare our 15 degrees next time. How's that sound? Hi there, Linda, welcome along from Cape Cod, ready to paint and ready to rumble. Indeed. And Susan, hi there from Buffalo, New York. Good to see you. Thanks so much for dropping by, and I hope you're keeping well over there. And Caroline, welcome from a happy St. Patrick's Day, and it's a beautiful sunny day. Every day's a beautiful day. Caroline, how's that sound? And Teresa, hi there from lovely Springdale, Vermont. Happy Patrick's Day, Teresa, absolutely. And let's have a little look. Excuse me, I'm scrolling too quickly. My finger's moving too quickly. And hi there, Jenny Falls is with us, guys. Jenny Falls is with us from St. Evenage. Hope the sun's shining there, and we're British. We're going to get a good day tomorrow, Jenny. How does that sound? You'll be out in the garden with your champagne, I'm sure, with a champagne reception in St. Evenage. Everybody welcome. Drop by around Jenny's. Free invite. See you all there. Hi there, Beth. Good to see you from Texas. Hope you're keeping well. And Jilly, welcome from a sunny Morpeth and blue skies. Whoa, that sounds pretty good, pretty good. And Deborah, hi there from St. Louis. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And Paolo, welcome along from Portugal. Good to see you there. And Robin, hi. Great of you to drop by. Helena, hi there from Liverpool. And Linda from Canada. Good to see you there. Right, a few more quick ones, guys, and then what about a bit of painting before I get too croaky? Hi there, BJ Powell, welcome from La Quinton, CA, California, could be. Good to see you, and Susan from Minnesota, and Annie, welcome along from France, I believe. Let's have a look. Yes, absolutely, Normandy in France, just across the pond, just across the pond. And Rosario, welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, guys, let's get started. We've welcomed, let's get painting. So as I say, if you go to the description below, you can go across to the Patreon page, and on there you'll see my pencil for tonight's spring window. Yeah, so it's going to be a window draped with leaves and flowers and all that sort of caper, and we're just going to slight twist to it this evening with the painting side of things. So when we get to that, I'll let you know. Quick slurp of tea there, guys. I've got a bit of a croaky throat. So I went to a 70s weekend, and it was a full weekend. 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Whoa, my word. All comes flooding back, and I saw quite a few groups from the 70s as well, the original members. So if anybody in the UK remembers Lindisfarne, they were on, and Slade, my word. Who else was on? Oh, lots of people. Bay City Rollers, remember them? Hey. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get on with this. Paper, £140 cold pressed knot, lying as flat as a pancake. So it's not on a board, it's not tilted, just very flat. Now you can do the drawing on any angle you like, stand on your head, do a twirl, doesn't make any difference. But when we come to the painting, I keep it flat. Sound good? Okay. Right. We're going for a squidged rectangle. Yeah? So I'm going to start with a dot in the top left, down to the bottom left. How does that sound? There we go. There's the first line. Line across about there. Looks about good, Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. You're very good. Glad to see you. Right. There we go. And down again. So these dots, guys, if you're not familiar with this sort of approach to drawing, dot dash method, not invented by me, although I thought I did invent it when I came across the idea and broke it down. But when I look back through the history of art, quite a few notables used to draw like this, just simple line work, which allows you to be freer in your line work, which automatically frees up your paint work. How's that sound for an easy peasy solution to that thing you've been searching for a long time, like I did? And still do. It's always a challenge, guys, always a challenge. So there's the area we're going to work with. Let's bring that down a bit for you. So basically, it's a window in the centre with shutters either side, and then draped florals around, florals and leaves, yeah? So what I'm going to do is really find the centre of the area we're going to work with, about there. Then I'm going to put a dot for the centre. Yeah, it looks about right size. Then I'm going to take a dot either side, equal distance of that centre line. Just tap it on. And your pencil work quite often disappears. If it's quite light, it'll disappear. But I quite like to see the drawing show through. it adds a bit of texture and a bit of sort of feel as if you've done a bit of work for it, yeah? So got that on, little line across the bottom, and then all I'm going to do is break this down. I'm going to break down, guys, I'm going to break down. So it's going to be 4 panes either side, but rather than start at the top and work down, because you always get an odd one at the bottom, what I do is find the middle, do a line across, then find halfway between those two, and halfway between those two. Simple Simon Metapieman. Go into the window shop. But now they're all equal and I've done no actual physical measuring whatsoever. So they're the window panes. What I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to extend them. So what I do is just look to see how big they are, and if I chop these down they get quite small. So what I want to do is I just want to extend it slightly this way. So I want the outer bit of the window frame to be there. It's only a couple of mil all the way around. Yeah. Sound good? So don't try to force things into areas that you think aren't appropriate. Yeah. Aren't big enough. Go the other way. Make the thing a little bit bigger. If you get what I mean. I'm gabbling. Right. There's the outside. Bit of a frame. So either side make this a bit thicker of the centre. Same again. Bits going across either side of that line. Use that line, these lines, as the centre of the woodwork, yeah? So there is my little window frame. Yeah, sounds good. Hi to those guys who are just dropping in. Welcome along, welcome along. So there's my window frame, centre of the page, nice and set up, all ready to go. A little line over the top, so a bit of a gap and a line, so this could be a bit of a window, what do you call them, shelf, lintel, that type of thing above. Then I'm going to bring a line down here, so again it's another line a bit further out, and this is where I'm going to stick my shutters. So top of the window, line out, top of the window, line out, bottom of the window, same thing, line out. Now what we need to consider is the lily. No, that is Monty Python. So this shutter will fit to there, and obviously this one to there. So you want to make this about the depth of half of the window. Now another line. So it'll all fall into place. It does it for you if you just use a bit of noodle. So obviously that's if it's too wide, they're going to cross over like a napkin. If it's too short, you're going to be woke up every morning with a blaze of sunlight because the shutter man didn't make them wide enough. So anyway, there they go. There's the 2 shutters. Right, what else do we need? Bit of a windowsill. I think let's have it a bit wider. So line down, line across. Then another one, bit shorter. Then another one. And I might put a little bobble or something just there, as if there's a bit of stonework to make this quite ornate. All they are little circles and scrolls. It's nothing particular. Something may appear, not that I know, but it may look like something. Quite often people can see different things within a very muted, scrolly type of bit of work. So, there we go, that's that. Right, what we need now, just on the door, the shutters, are little hinges. So down a bit, down a bit. I'm not going to take them all the way across, about 3/4 of the way. One at the bottom. Main thing is to put them on about the same place. So again, it looks like Mr. Chipperdee knew what he was doing. Okay, all done. Sorry, BJ, the question you asked there, how do I get the line so straight without a ruler? I'll just demo. All I do is put dots down, yeah? So I put a dot, and I'm aiming from that one to that one, yeah? And I move the pencil, I draw the lines in little marks, generally. I don't do one big line, I do dots, and then line, line, line. And the further the distance between the two, the more little dots I put in to actually, like stepping stones, yeah? Give it a whirl just on a spare bit of paper, and it's surprising how quickly you'll master the technique. And it's quite a simple technique, but it does work. Okay, now a few flowers. All I'm going to do for the flowers is the area that I want them to fall, yeah? So I'm not drawing individual flowers because at a distance, and if this is the size of a window, then the flowers are going to be tiny. So don't even bother. I want some draping. I want them to sort of come over the window like this, and then pockets of flowers just draping down. Now it's far easier to paint these than to draw them. So they're just lozenge shapes, just to give me an indication of where these flowers are going to fall. So I want a bit more floristry, that's what it is, this side. A few chumping up this way. So this is obviously a window, so these are climbing up. These could be connected to whatever this is. And again, just little bits hanging off all over the place. That is it, guys, that is it. That is the drawing, yeah? So I would say spend a bit of time on the drawing, but actually I'll say quite the opposite. Don't spend too much time on the drawing, because the more detail you put in, the more tight you're going to get with the, obviously, drawing, and then it's going to lead you into a tighter painting, because you're going to try and fill in all those little bits you've put on. So a good thing to do is only give yourself a certain amount of time, depending on the subject. Try be as quick as you can, yeah? Particularly your first approach to the drawing, i.e. getting the shapes in, and then you can go back and refine it a bit. But the first initial attack of the paper, and be quite boisterous with it. You know, don't be delicate. Just say, yeah, this is going to go here. Be quite decisive. Place it down, and then you can alter it as you go. But until you've got some line work on the page, you've got nowhere to get. You've got nothing to compare anything against. So you've got to get it on, and you may as well be as quick as possible. Now, so drawing done. Let's have a look what brushes we're going to use. I think, yeah, 3 brushes I think tonight. So we've got Miss Rigger, she's going around a corner tonight, look there. We've got Mini Dave, and we've got Dangerous Dave. So large dagger brush, small dagger brush, and rigger, large rigger. So if you do want any of those, just drop onto, well, I'll put, there's maybe a link below actually. But please do use the brushes you've got, but quite often the ones I use do work pretty well in a loose situation. I don't use anything else. Okay, that said, we need some colours, guys, don't we? Now, the one thing I'm going to do tonight is try to make the colours look a bit more antique, yeah? So, general colours I'm going to use are lemon yellow, cad orange, Indian red. We've got various reds, so we've got rose opera, bit of cad red, bit of alizarin crimson. Blues, we've got royal blue, cobalt blue. We've got greens, which are turquoise, sap green, and cerulean green. Got a bit of mauve, got a bit of purple. Now, the interesting thing I want to do tonight, I want, if possible, now you don't have to do this tonight, but worth a try, I want you to mix either a bit of sepia, or I've got some neutral tint, which is, you know, getting towards black. Very liquid, I want some of that. But I'm going to mix that with every colour that I use, yeah? And what that does is just knock all the colours back. It softens them and gives them a sort of oldie-worldy look, yeah? So that's the theory. We'll see how it goes. You're not mixing much with it, but try some, yeah? Right, okay. Good stuff. So are we ready, guys? Are we ready to rumble? Yeah, of course we are. Of course we are. We're looses. We're looses. Right, okay. So the first thing we're going to do is get a wash a loose wash, and I want to sort of vignette this, which means sort of colour and it fades off to white, so we're not just blocking right up to the edge of the area, the rectangle. I want to get the colour on the very lightest areas for a start, and I want the light to come in from the top left. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of water onto the page with Dangerous Dave, drag a bit across. Now I'm going across the flowers, I'm not just working around them and filling in the gaps, I just want a bit of stuff on there fairly rapidly. Okay, so that's just water dropped on, dragged across, and this, it's going at this angle to give a light effect. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my lemon yellow, but I'll try and get that into the screen. It should be on there maybe in a minute. Yeah, so I've got my lemon yellow. I'm going to use it to a coffee strength, which is very, no, actually a tea strength, which is very weak. So I'm going to mix the colour up, but then I'm going to daub my brush into a little bit of sepia and drop that in. Yeah, that's what I mean, it gives you that antique-y look. Yeah. So I've got that on, and what I'm going to do is just drag this across. Now I'm going to mix some more because I've not mixed enough. Drag it across. It doesn't matter if it hits the window, anything. It could hit the budgie, doesn't matter. Shafts of light, yeah, that's what they are, shafts of light. So I've got that on. Now I'm going to do the same with a bit of cad orange. So very weak, tea strength, mix a puddle of it, and then drop a little bit of sepia in. And do the same here. So it looks murky, mucky, but when it dries, it looks antique-y, weaky. Yeah. So I'm just scrolling this round, light, dark. And then this side, I'm going to do the same with a bit of mauve, but drop in a bit of sepia in. Now, and I'm keeping that colour over this side, predominantly. Okay. Quite quick, but there again, that's the nature of the brush. You just put it down, drag it across, yeah? Okay. You're doing fabulously well, guys. Fabulously well. Okay, got that on. Right, now I'm going to get, let's have a look. Yeah, the shutters on. I'm going to use turquoise. So I'm mixing a puddle of that up, but then, same thing, bit of old antique-y sepia into it. So I'm going to start with this one, place it at the top, just drag it down over the shutter area. Now it's going to bleed further because we've got all the wet stuff kicking about, but that's okay. Same with the second one. So this is called antiquivization, yeah? Don't even bother looking it up because it's true. No, it's not, but it sounds a good word. Okay, so there is my antique colour onto the shutters, and I'm always trying to make this one slightly darker than this one because this is in the light, that's not so much in the light. Okay, good, good, good. Right, you're doing fabulously well, guys. Can't believe how good you are, can't believe it. Right, now I'm going to Mini Dave, and I'm going to just scoot around the edges a bit with Indian red, and again a bit of sepia in there. Quite liquid, quite watery, so it's tea strength. So I mix more than I need rather than underdo it. Right, under here, just dragging a bit across. Now I'm not covering this in its entirety. These little white bits, untouched paper, look like a reflecting glow of the sun. Yeah? So this and this carving bit, just a few little dots under there. And what we're not trying to do is detail or finish or refine this at all. We're just trying to get the colour on. Yeah. Same colour again. A bit under the top. And again, it will bleed. It will bleed. Good thing, good thing. Welcome along, Linda. Do apologise. I'll have a word with Barry YouTube. I think he's on the desk tonight. It's a minefield sometimes, Linda. Isn't it? I do know. Right. Okay. Next colour is going to be cobalt blue with a bit of sepia in yet again. I'm just going to run this along the edge of my shutter, and always keep checking where your shutter is. For a split second there, I nearly did it there, which is the actual what do you call them? Hinge. That's it. Take your time, Andrew. Take your time. Hinge. Always check, because sometimes you just plonk it in the wrong place. So it's worth double checking. Little glow there. One there. Bit under there. Okay. And again, I'm just going to flick this colour out just to the edge of where my greenery and coloury stuff may fall. Yeah, so you can see how wet that paper is, but it just gives that nice blast of colour going across. And really these could easily end up as shadows under some of the foliage and leafage. Okay, super duper, super duper. Right, we've got all that on. Right, I think time for a little bit of flowery stuff. So I'm going to start with relatively weak royal rose opera, but again a little bit of sepia in. Yeah, I'm going to use Dendrius Dave. So I'm going to blob some down here. Now then, I don't know if you can see where my fingers are on this, right at the end of the brush, and I'm not, because that takes away any control really. And all I'm trying to do is just vaguely put some of the colour down. Yeah. So I've got some there, maybe a bit here, bit at the bottom. And I'm always thinking, where is it coming from? So this one is going this way, I'm thinking, upwards. These are coming down. Got that on? And a little bit here maybe, in the middle. And one just here. Try and not make them too regular. Yeah. I.e. one there, one there, one there. If you do put one there, I'm going to move this down a bit because it's a bit regular. Yeah. It's like when I have some prunes. It's a bit regular. Good sometimes, but not all the time. Few there. Sepia, just drop that colour in. Now here I'm just dropping very gently over the a bit of the shutter. Yeah, so we've got patches of colour all over the place. Now a little bit of let's go for alizarin crimson. Guess what I'm going to do? Bit of sepia. Excellent, excellent. I am. So all we do with this, sepia, alizarin crimson, liquid, and at the back of the colour we've just put on, I'm just dropping a bit of this. Now put it at the back of the colour we've just put on. You can drop it into it, but it's where the sun ain't shining too brightly. I.e. it's the shadow colour of the first colour we put down. And if it's too close to the first colour, just add a bit more sepia. There you go. Hi there, Bonnie, welcome. There you go, super duper super. Right, okay. So again, the only thing, these are wet now, these patches of florally colour. The background is fairly dry now. So if you carry enough liquid paint, then those individual areas will stay pretty movable for quite a while. Right, okay. Mini Dave. A bit of leafage time, yeah? So I'm going to go with sap green, but again, mix a decent amount of it. And then chuck a bit of sepia in, yeah? So it gets an antique colour to it. Okay, so anywhere where we've got florals, I'm going to have a bit of leaf. Now remember your shutters, so you can just chop round a little bit of them for a start, just to remind you where they are, and then you can push the colour up towards the flowers. And when you've got a lot of liquid paint on, you may think, well, it's too strong. But no, what it is, it's liquid. If it's not liquid and it's going on strong, then yes, it is quite boisterous and strong. And you will get used to that sort of strength of pigment. But if it's liquid, i.e. a tea or coffee strength, then you can put it on very liquid. When it dries, it'll be quite soft and subtle, which is good. These were draping down now. So another little trick is when you've got this liquid stuff, I just push the brush into it and just drag it a bit, and then it gives a nice little spray of foliage without too much effort. Rather than, by that I mean you're not dabbing the brush down every leaf. You're just scraping the brush across and it gives that nice texture. Okay, a few just here. And again, another little idea, technique. I plonk a bit down for a start, and then I push the colour away from that. I push the colour away from the plonk, yeah? Otherwise you start with a small bit and then you're doing tons of small bits, and it takes quite a while to get anywhere. So plonk and then nudge is a good idea. Got that one? I'm just going to pick out a little bit of that lintily thing that I said, as if the leaves are resting on top of it. They will drape over like that. But again, chop out the shape you want for a start, and then move your stuff about. The actual brush, Mini Dave, is a small dagger brush, yeah? So it's the shape of the edge, looks like well, I don't know if it looks like a dagger, but that's the name. So again, we go around here. And you're deciding whether this is joined to this or whether this is a separate thing, i.e. are you going to cover all of that? I think I'm going to say yes. Now what I'm going to slightly do here is change and use a bit of cobalt blue and a bit of sepia. So it gives a bit of variety. Okie dokes. Dropping that on here. And again, sorry about all this information, folks, but again, it's worth doing this with a bit of speed, because the slower you are, the more it dries. And the more it dries, the more you paint in, well, literally dry. Anything you put down is not going to float about and give you any extra sort of surprise elements. A little bit down the side of Bobby the Shutter. Okay, so I've got all that leafage just draped around the window. Right, mine are still reasonably wet, so all I'm going to do now is have a little bit of Cerulean green, which is a dark green, still throwing that sepia in. I'm just going to tap it onto some of these green areas, but again trying to keep them to the right hand side. Anything to emphasize the light hitting. Yeah. So when I paint, it looks, oh, he's going very fast. Well, I am, but as long as you know the method, and this is all I'm doing is putting this down the right hand side of each green bit. And if there's something like that, I do a bit and then stop. And then I go further along, and that suggests there's an indentation in the foliage there, and then there's another one here. Otherwise you just keep ploughing across the whole scene and be too much. Yeah, okay, scooter router. Right, let's just leave that for a minute. One thing we will do just before that minute's up, Miss Rigger, Indian red with a little bit of sepia in. And what I'm going to do is throw a few lines through a few of the gaps. Now your eye's going to pick these up as the thicker stems within the foliage, and it gives it a bit of direction, i.e. this swooping up this way. And that's why those little white gaps are quite, well, I say quite, they're very useful. If you want to go over the top, just do that, and then it gives that direction over the top. Yeah, it's only a few little marks. And just at the bottom, let's have a few just coming up. Yep. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Okay, got all that on, guys, got all that on. Right, panes, panes, panes. By that I mean window panes, yeah? So I'm going to start with royal blue, bit of sepia, mucky colour, mucky moo moo, mucky moo, yeah? And when I'm mixing it, I'm taking the sepia to the royal blue, not the other way around. You always take the darker colour to the lighter one so you can see what you're mixing. If you're taking a light colour to a dark one, it takes you hours to get anywhere. Thousands of pounds of mixing for nothing. Right, I want this to be quite weak, and all I'm going to do is remember the panes. You've got the one down the centre. I say the stays, I think that's what they're called, the wooden bit. So I'm going to go across the top. I'm just going to mark them out for a start, just by going across the top bits. So remember, you've got a gap here. Then I'm going to down one side. Remember to stop. By that I mean when you go down this side. Okay, two sides, sharp light coming in. Taking the colour off the brush just with a bit of water, and now I'm just running a bit of water in that window pane and allowing that colour, hopefully, just to bleed in. And if it doesn't, you see, now I've got to the bottom, the dry. So I'm going to just, while you're not looking, oh look out there. George Clooney's coming up your drive. Look, quick, quick, quick. While you're not looking, while your attention is diverted, I'm just throwing a bit more in. But again, it's that adding the sepia to it, just gets a bit murky. So got that on. You don't have to do every little bit. Leaving some untouched panes is useful. Lets the viewer fill that part of the story in. Right, got that on. Now I'm going to go for cobalt and again a bit of sepia. Just drop it in that top corner. If it's still wet, it's a good place for it to bleed from. And also it's the place where it's going to be in the shadow. So I put it in the same place on each one. And again, if you can get these stays, the wooden bits, quite reasonably the same, but not perfect. That's about what you want to be. Okay, and that light colouring we put down at the beginning is now in place. Right, Miss Riggs, there she be. Now what we've got is a bit of a gap between the window and the shutter. We'll do a bit on the shutter for a start, then work it into the window. So I've got turquoise, a bit of sepia in again. And what I'm going to do for a start is just break this down into boards. So a couple of lines down. I'll do that one separately. Couple of lines down, then a bit of water, and just drag it across so it softens those lines. So you get little hints of the boards, and then you get hints of the light going across. Yeah. Let's go for purple this time with a bit of sepia. Again, quite liquid, and I'm doing this inside this board just here. So you've got 1, 2, yeah, it's about, I've made it 2 wide, as in the number 2, not, I've made it 2 wide. So that acts as a shadow. Inside of the shutter. Same this side, I'm going to split this one, a little line down, then another one, and again underneath this overhang lintel, and then a second one, just a line across. Now all I'm going to do is push a bit of colour across there, and a little bit of water down this side, so it softens these lines. Don't be afraid to leave lines sometimes, but I generally end up chucking a bit of water on to soften them a bit. Again, this centre bit, a little bit of this colour down, a bit of the centre. It just gives a bit of texture to it, a bit of interest. break some of these down a bit. And again, don't be in a rush to darken everything down. Just do it a bit and see what it looks like. Put a line on the bottom. And then we can add a bit of detail into underneath. Well, we'll split this for a start. And again, now we put that little bit of whatever it was underneath just there. So this side of this wobbly thing, proper name, we're putting the shadows of it. This side, little dobs of suggestion. More shadow this side, then a bit of water to roll this off. Roly-boly ball. And talking of roly balls, my little dog has had a haircut today. Half the fella he was. He was getting very long in the coat, but not anymore. Very short. He's got his little, I say it's his spring jacket he's got on now. When I came in the house, I thought, who stole my dog? Nobody. It was him all along. Okay. Right. Let's split this one. Split the difference. Turquoise, CPR. Split this. A bit darker actually. Remember, this one's darker than that one. Yeah. And again, I'm going to bring that bit of water across, just to give that suggestion of light. Cascading, that's the word I'm looking for, cascading. Oh, thanks, Jilly, blimey. Sorry, it's called a finial Andrew. Blimey, that's brilliant, that is. Jilly, they named it after me. But, finial, that's it. Seems appropriate. Sounds like Phineas on St. Patrick's Day. Right, okay. So we've got all that on, guys. Now, let's have a little look. We're getting pretty well through this. I think what we can do now, Miss Rigger can do a little bit of work. I'm going to get a little bit of cad red. Again, dumb it down a bit with a bit of sepia. Quite liquid still. And then, just going to drop a few, actually quite thicker droplets onto the red areas. Now, not all over, maybe just the top bit. So decide where you want them to point. And these were pointing up, these may be pointing down. So the top end of whatever the flower is, put them there, not all over. Take you too long. You've got champagne to drink, you can't be putting those droplets all over. So this really, even though it's applied very quickly and loosely, is still the detailing of it. It doesn't mean when you do detailing you have to sit in there and be laborious. You can throw it on still fairly rapidly, it's just having that little idea of where you're going with it. And on this particular bit, the plants, it is to place them where you want them to point. So if these are pointing in, put your flowery bits, your detaily bits towards that. Okay, Fabidozy. Right, now everything's in place, and like I say, the colours have all settled back, but they've all got that bit of sepia in that just knocks all of the colours back. What we can do now is just put some shadow on, or if you're French, le shadow. Bit of sepia into cobalt blue. Quite liquid still. Oh, blimey. That's thank you for asking, PJ. Was I born with the talent or did I learn it? I tell you what I'd say I was born with the interest. Yeah, I was born with the interest, and after that it was because I liked doing it. I did it a lot, and then I was inquisitive as well, so I was always thinking why, where. I wasn't just accepting what I was told to do, so I've been a bit like that, but I was inquisitive like light. I'd always say, why does it go there? And then try and work out why do things happen within the painting. That's what led me to this style. And really, I suppose, same with everybody else who wants to paint in this fashion. You know, you want to do it, but you're not sure how to do it. So you would accept what I say and just do it without question. But you've got to question it all the time. And if you can answer your questions, i.e., why does it cast shadows left, right, or centre? Well, it's the position of the light in the first place. So always be asking questions about your painting, and never. It's not you that can't do it. It's just you don't have the right answer for that particular thing at that particular moment. But searching for the answer will make you a lot better painter than copying or following somebody like me, but I'll do my best. Hope that answers a bit. Right, cobalt blue, sepia. Underneath the shadowy bit, so underneath this lintel, or what do you call it, windowsill. You can't make it quite deep. A little bit of shadow, maybe just under the flowers on some bits, into the greenery, so the flower heads may be casting a shadow onto the leaves. Yeah, like here and here. Again, always that same position. The light angles won't change. And actually, being St. Patrick's Day today, 17th of March, yeah, it's actually my son's birthday. And guess where he is? Have a guess where he is. Yes, good guess. He's actually in Ireland on St. Patrick's Day, on his birthday. He did send a message over, and it looks like he was having a particularly good time. So this is that colour, this is cobalt blue and sepia. Got that on. Now I'm still going to run a little bit of water under these just to bring that line down a bit. Not so much on the leaves because this is flat surface. The leaves are up and down all over the place. So if you start drawing water across the leaves, it's gonna knock them a bit flatter. edge of this shutter is quite nice, so I'll put a bit of this blue here. And I quite like the strength of that blue, so I'm going to put a bit inside this side here. And I'll tell you what, idea number 7, same colour, just a little bit inside some of these window panes. And then I just do the Miss Rigger shuffle, which is pushing the colour about a bit just to fill the space a bit. And if you draw the lines down, it gives you that window effect, or glass effect should I say. Right, we're doing well guys, we're doing well. Now I'm just going to pop back onto the shutters, a little bit thicker paint. I just want to emphasise a little bit of the boarding. Now we did it once and I washed it away. Now I want to put it back in. So always sit back. Don't sit back too far because you'll topple off your chair. But sit back and take a wide view of what's happening. Not because you can easily hover over the drawing. If you get too close to the drawing, then you can't see the bigger picture. So always sit back occasionally and see what's occurring. Right, okay. Now, what we're going to do now is a little bit of those, what do you call them? Not stays, I keep forgetting my words today. These hinges, that's it. A little bit of sepia, a little bit of Indian red in there. Again, not a thick line, and if it's wet, it's quite good because it'll bleed off. And again, remember where this was, about there. Try and do it as a broken line. Here. Now here I've got little flowers in the way. So I'll just do it as a dotted broken line. Your eye will pick it up and jump through it. Right, anything else? Maybe a little bit more greenery. So we'll call on this fella again, Mini Dave. Cobalt blue and Cerulean green. Now remember when we put this on, this looked quite dark and thick, but like I say, because it was liquid, it's going to lighten quite a lot. So I've actually got cobalt blue, Cerulean green and a bit of sepia. Now what I'm doing is doing splodges rather than too many individual leaves. Because it'll get too fussy. But I'm still trying to think, put the dark stuff on the right hand side. Now just here, it's only a small bit. I can drape a few leaves just over the top. Now again, I'm just tapping the end of the brush. Just over that lintel. Maybe over the shutter a bit as well. But If you do it over something like the shutter, make sure you push the colour back into the greenery a bit so it joins it. It's not just started from nowhere. Bit here maybe, but again, try and be delicate with it. You can build it up, but if you do a great plonk of greenery straight off the bat, then you've missed an opportunity to be quite subtle with it. Right, I think the only thing, I won't do any stone work, we don't want to get it gets a bit too fussy. I've just got water on Mini Dave, and just on the edges I'm just going to drape a little bit of water down. Now I'll put the water on, nothing happens. If you put it on 2 or 3 times, same area, it just starts to drip down a bit. You can even do it within the colour, you don't have to find a light area for it to show up because it will still give it a little glaze. And again, a bit on the board in there. Brilliant of you to join us, Janet and Little Snoops, and enjoy your evening. And always fabulous to see you. Welcome, welcome all the time. Okay, just dropping those down. I think, well, one more thing, a little bit of purple, a little bit of sepia. We're still doing this liquid thing. I'm just going to make it a bit darker in this top corner. There's more on the woodwork than anyway. Yeah, just pushes that top corner back a bit. Right guys, I think we is about there. I think the final thing I might do is a little bit of splatter, a little bit of cad red. Now splatter is not a sort of quick fix, particularly if you can aim it well. So it does give that sort of delicate ending to the flowers. The great thing about this particular rigger brush, Miss Riggs, is you can aim it, it's like a game of darts. So, even on that window there, I can pinpoint it just in that window. Ridiculous, ridiculous. Okay guys, I think we is about there. So, only thing left to do, a little bit of a signature. Let's go for, this is the only colour tonight I'm not going to put any sepia in. So we've got royal blue, there we go. So I hope you've enjoyed that guys. Remember, one of the key takeaways from this was knocking every colour back by adding a little bit of liquid sepia to that particular colour, even lemon yellow. And we did that all the way through, and it gives it that sort of antique finish. Whereas when we're using sort of neat colours, they do blend and mix into the ones next door, but they don't knock back like using the one standard colour all the way through. So, time for you to give it a go, guys, if you've not already, and I think most of you will have done this already, and it may be on the Facebook page already. So you beat me every week, guys, you beat me every week. Give this one a go, give it several goes, and there's some great little techniques in here to develop, and like I answered the question earlier, the reason I can do this quite quickly and efficiently is because I do it a lot. So the more you do it, and always be inquisitive about why things happen on your painting. So when you teach yourself, then you'll learn some very valuable lessons that really will enhance your painting skills. So just time for me to say goodbye. Thank you so much for your dropping by this evening and for your continued support of my painting. This is a Patreon exclusive, so it'll be on YouTube until tomorrow lunchtime, and then it will be exclusively on Patreon for my supporters over there. And there's quite a few new ones ready to go on, and give them a whirl. So I'd love to see all your work, guys, and thank you so much for dropping by. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'm going to have a little bit of cake now and maybe a cup of tea. So I shall see you all again very, very soon. Take care, folks. Goodbye.